right? Let's see. Yeah, or Twitch. I'm not liking the delay, but it's just to be expected. Alright, let me know when you can see it.
Watch out!
Man, that's a massive delay there. Okay. So, let's go over the settings. I'm gonna set the dummy to guard all so you can see where the attacks hit. Alright, did you see that? Oh, that's the old video. There's a new one out. Like, setting up for a stream takes a bit of work, but the whole thing is, even though they made it simple with the PlayStation 4, it's not exactly where it should be. So if you had a setup externally, that would still be better than this. But because I'm actually talking to you as it happened, you may not see what I see as it's happening because of delay. But if you were to look back on it, then it would make more sense.
Try shoot! Try shoot! Try shoot! Try shoot! Hey! Yeah! Try shoot! Try shoot! Try shoot!
Let me know when you see.
Try shoot! Try shoot! Try shoot! Hey!
Alright, so the thing about good defense is you can prevent a person from blowing you up if you know where they're attacking you from. So I set Iori to guard all, so when I'm attacking, you see him block. So you see how he's just standing and blocking? That's because these are mid attacks. And you see how he crouch blocked? That's a low. So, and then, because I'm attacking him with high attacks, he's going to stand and block. Which doesn't look like much until he's crouching. But because he's crouching, he can block the mid still. That's still a mid, but ooh, that is hard. You saw how he had to stand up to block that? Because it's a high. But there's a lot of attacks where if you try to do them because he's crouching, now it's harder to hit him. Which is good for him, but bad for me. Alright, so check this out. In this game, there's a couple of defensive options. Like, you have roll, which is light punch and light kick, square, and X. You can do forward or back roll. And you'll switch sides with your opponent. You have a momentary invincibility to strike attacks, but you can be grabbed almost at the start or the end of your roll, so trying to roll past a person who knows this, you're not safe. Let me see if I can set that up. Slide 2. What's that? Yeah, I can remove that, but because of the fact that I don't think this is going to be something for multiple people, it's just a quick explanation, so it's whatever. Bless you. Let me swap this around. Guard all. Alright, so I have Iori set to do hold back and press hard punch. So if I were to attack him, he would block. But if he can, he'll throw. You see how he moves back? Yeah. So the whole thing is, I can get around him striking, but I can't get around him throwing. But in the KOF series, throws are done a little differently, in which case hard punch is to throw them in front of you, while hard kick is to throw them behind you. So it doesn't matter if you're holding forward or you're holding back. In which case, if you're backed in a corner, you'd naturally want to switch sides, because being in the corner means people just attack you and attack you. And you just gotta deal with that. You don't want to deal with that. Now, there was something else to it. Emergency evasion. I'll talk about that in a bit. But, in general, you cannot block in the air in this game. So, I'm jumping in, I'm holding back, I can't do anything about that. So in this game, if you jump in, just know, unless if your character had a specific move they can do or something, you're just open. So that's why most people just jump in and they would attack. Because if you jump in and you do nothing, you're just gonna get hit anyway. But when you start to understand more about how your attacks work and how your enemy's attack work, that's when you'd be able to make a better choice on what kind of attack to do. Like, you saw how I jumped over him and completely missed? So, some attacks have a wider hitbox, so when you jump in, you can do this thing called cross-up. In which case, to defend a cross-up, you have to block in reverse. So, instead of holding back, you press forward because now your enemy is behind you. Let me see if I can get a picture of that real quick. Oops. Like, okay, right here. because I did it a little too early, he doesn't have to worry about a cross-up, so he just holds back. While here, I'm not sure if you can see it yet, but when you get to it, you'll see Terry is now attacking him, but now Terry's on the other side, so he would have to actually hold forward, or else he'd get hit because Terry's behind him. Yes. So that's something dangerous that you're going to have to deal with, like, on the higher ends of combat. But it's important to just kind of understand it exists, so you're like, why is this guy hitting me? Why I was holding back? Why couldn't I defend? That's what happened. And then, nah, that's in most fighting games, almost every single one of them. And then, remember how I was telling you about grabs, right? Did you see how he knocked me away? So, the whole thing is, if you go to throw your opponent, if they do the throw input at the same time as you, roughly, you get a throw reject. So, you just go, can't throw me. In which case, before you saw how it did on his side, and then on my side, it shows you something different because I did a throw reject. So it kind of shows you like the character being all surprised, like, what? Let me think of some more defensive maneuvers. So, silly me, I forgot even to tell you more about just holding back to block. Because I'm talking about more advanced stuff, I never even spoke about the basic. So, you hold back to block, and it'll block mids and highs. I said that, but I didn't tell you how to do it. While if you're holding down back to block, you'll block mids and lows. So, essentially, if you're standing, if the person is standing with you, you're probably going to block it. If they're in the air, you're probably going to block it. But if you're crouching, if they're standing, you're probably going to block it. But if they're crouching, you definitely will block it. But if you're crouching, if they attack from the air, you can't block it. And if you're standing and they attack low, you can't block it. And some attacks look deceptive. Like, Terry, he's a pretty honest guy, so he doesn't have like a standing low. But if you crouch, you see how he forces him to bend down like that? That's just how that works. So like in general, if you see somebody get down, you just match them. Just so they don't do something like, oh, I hit you, so now I get a combo. So, emergency evasion. Alright, so you remember how I told you about rolling, right? So, in this game, if you want to spend some meter, you can spend it to roll. So, what you'd have to do is block, then you do the command for roll. So, I believe there's forward roll and back roll. See how I messed up there? So, There's also this thing called blowback attack, which is both offensive and defensive depending on how you use it. So in this game, they changed blowback attack, so if you do it while you're standing on the ground, you knock them to the wall and they crumple. Let me know when you see it. So, because of the fact that you knock them to the wall, and then they hit the ground before completely laying flat, you can do a combo or whatever. Well, just hit them. But it's free, that's the point. While in the air, if you did a blowback attack, you knock them down still, but you don't get that, like, setup for the free hit. Every game has its own ebbs and flows when it comes to speed, and believe it or not, when you really start to get into a fighter, even the slower ones start to feel faster. At one point I was playing Street Fighter 3 with a friend, and in the first month the game was slow to us, and then like a month later, after constant battles, every second was like 6 or so attacks. So that was like 12 choices made. Now, I'm not really going to do a bunch of combos or anything, but just want to talk about the mechanics a bit more. So, I'm going to pull up the move list. So, you see this thing called command moves? Alright, so in KOF, command moves, or in many other places, command normals, they're used sometimes to help you fill out a combo. So you can do them like a step 2. So I'm going to show you Terry's back knuckle, and I'm going to show you his rising upper. So this is back knuckle. Now let me show you what it looks like when you actually hit it with it. See? While, you see that? That's like his upper knuckle thing. So, you see how neatly it goes into all of his ground attacks? So, there's some attacks that just don't get the same benefit. But the whole thing is, since it's like your step 2, we have a whole new set of moves you get to do afterwards. So let's check out these 3 moves. Terry has this move called Power Wave, a projectile, Burning Knuckle, advancing attack, and Crack Shoot, which is also an advancing attack that is done slightly differently. You just have to see it in action. You ready? Alright. This is Power Wave with Light Punch. This is Power Wave with Hard Punch. It's faster, so it controls space differently. So like if you throw a slow one, you can advance just a little before it lands. While if you did the fast one, it comes out faster, it moves faster, but you don't recover fast enough to really move after it. Now, this is Burn Knuckle. That's the Light Punch version. So, at full screen distance, he'd need 2 to make contact. While with the Hard Punch version, you see how much closer he is? It can be. So, like, you remember how you had that Hard Punch into Diagonal Torch down, Hard Punch into Light Punch Burn Knuckle? That's a 3-hit combo. And the reason why the Hard Punch version doesn't work, you see the delay? Yeah, like, you'd be able to block as soon as you go for it. Let me turn on the block. Guard. Now, do you see how he's getting hit by the delayed Burn Knuckle? He's only getting hit because he let go of his guard. Don't expect most people to do that. But if he wanted to, he'd be able to jab you. So, if you did the Light Punch version, your attack comes out sooner and your combo completes. While, if you did Power Wave, the speed doesn't matter because you're close enough that either one will hit. Now, Crack Shoot. See the difference in the spacing and speed? The quicker one is with the light kick, while the slower one is with the hard kick. They both do something a little different, but they help you get closer to your opponent. So, like, let's say Yori was just that much closer. Because of the Hard Punch one, now you're right in his face. Even if you were full screen, you'd be next to him. But if you understand spacing and how quickly it matters, something like this, now you hit him. Because you're in the right distance, while something like this, you basically on the edge of hitting him, while being all the way over here, you're too far. Speaking of which, this is the training stage, and it can help you eye these things out a little bit. So let's see. From here, this is 1 character, 2 characters, 3 characters, 4. So after the 4th space, you'll not hit him. And most characters are about the same dimensions. Like, you see how his... You see how his feet are planted? This is 1 character space. So if we move back by 1, We move back by 1. Now we're 2 away from each other. This is about where a round starts at. Move back by 1. 3. Move back by 1. And this is 4. So it's great at mid, but the whole thing is, you see how he expands his arms? He's shouting he's about to move next to you. So if you're on the ground, you know it's coming. While this, even though he says he's doing the attack, it's quicker. And crack shoot. So the thing that makes crack shoot a little different from burn knuckle is this. Let me know when you can see it. Oh no! Do you see that arc? Do you see the motion blur? Alright, so that's the area he's attacking. So even though he's attacking in front of him, he's also attacking above him. Right, it's just to kind of help you see what's happening. So like you see how his foot's being whipped and you see that color blur? If somebody was jumping, he could hit them with that, but it's not used for anti-airs. Just letting you know, it could, but don't use it like that. So he has a couple of other attacks that we didn't touch. In which case he has Rising Tackle and Power Charge. So, Rising Tackle, you have to hold down, then press up and punch, while Power Charge, it's half circle forward, that's down, that's back, down, down, forward, forward, and then you press kick. So this is how these look. Then, pretty quick, while this one is longer. Still takes the same amount of charge, but you'd be more likely to use one over another for certain situations, while Power Charge, Terry has a lot of attacks that put him closer to his enemy. So the difference between the light kick and the hard kick is hard kick knocks down. It takes longer, but they're knocked down. See all that running I was able to do when he was on the floor? You saw how quickly I was able to move back? Sometimes knocking somebody down can give you other options to do whatever else you want. You saw how I was able to move back and throw a projectile? If I timed it right, he'd have to get up and defend it. While this is more of something you can use in the combo. So, see? You can do Rising Tackle in a combo, but it's a little harder since it's a charge move. But since it's charged down, like, it's an attack you can use to anti-air, or if in very certain situations use it to help fill out a combo. But I'm really not going to go over extreme things like that yet. But there's something else. So, did you notice how it shows something, say, EX next to these special attacks? Alright, so with the EX, you're able to do enhanced version of the attack. So it can alter how the attack works. So it'll generally be like, oh, if it's a projectile, it'll still be a projectile, but different. So to activate these EX moves, you need to enter max mode. So to enter max mode, you press light kick and hard punch. And you see how he's glowing, and there's this max mode meter. So because this is training, I have it set to infinite, but in reality, when you do it, it'll drain. See? So you only have a few seconds to actually capitalize on it. So when you enter max mode, if you did the attack with 2 buttons, this power wave, light punch, and hard punch becomes EX power wave, which now does 3 hits. It moves decently. It's a little faster than the light, and a little slower than the hard. While... Yep, 1 stock. Right. Like, did you see how EX crack shoot knocked him on the ground and he bounced? It is funny. And then EX Burning Knuckle becomes full screen with it, so it's pretty fast, but you know. Essentially. And then you got Power Charge. So his EX Power Charge knocks the opponent into the corner just like the blowback attack. And rocket to him. So like if you were able to plan it out, you could do something. Yeah, again, it's not a combo. But I'm pretty sure close to the corner, that's when it would matter. Right. This is... Oh, right. And then, EX Rising Tackle. And then... you see the super special move? Just say supers for now. So, he has this move called Power Geyser and Buster Wolf. And then you see how it says... then you see how it says max next to it? Alright, so that means you can do an enhanced version of these attacks. So, you'd have 2 ways to activate these. 1, you can do it in max mode, or 2, you could just do it with 2 buttons. So this is Power Geyser.
Power Geyser!
Oops. It's like Power Wave, but stronger. So, he punched the ground, there's a pillar, that pillar hits. In which case that was done with light, and that's done with hard. They're essentially the same, well, with both light and hard punch. Whoops, sorry. Never says the king of execution. So you see a bit more of a cinematic, but he punches the ground. You see how there's 3 geysers? They hit. So that's just a wall of hurt you can't really deal with if you're low in life. Because then, this space for Terry, look at that. When you actually get to the point where you can visualize, I'm low on health, Terry has meter. And then he just does this. And he could just chip. But there's the other attack. Buster Knife, right? So, this is how it looks with Light Punch. I mean, Kick. So, it'll launch him forward. He'll move around the same space as Hard Punch Burning Knuckle. But, it'll push him closer, and it will end around here for the hit.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
And it's the same for the hard kick.
Are you okay?
You see? It kind of looks like that.
Hey, are you okay?
He hits them, and then he shoots some energy out.
Are you okay?
Let's see what happens if the opponent's blocking.
Are you okay?
So,
Are you okay?
the opponent's blocking, that's it. He'll still dash if he's in the air.
Are you okay? Hey,
So he doesn't like stop immediately. There's still momentum behind him.
are you okay?
Exactly. So if he was able to somehow hit the opponent beforehand, it'd make him safe. While Power Geyser, on the other hand, even though he would be open, he's not nearly as open because of the fact that he's pushing the enemy away and he's not being pulled in because of the
Are
momentum.
you okay?
Now, let's see what it looks like at max.
Here's the big one. Here's the big one.
It does more hits and it does more damage. So, it looks cool, doesn't it? Now check this out. Did you notice on the top left side of my screen there's this thing where it's giving me numbers? Damage, total damage, and all that? So, check this out. This is Buster Wolf, level 1.
Are you okay?
It does 175 damage total. Now, because this isn't being done in a combo, that's as much damage as it's going to do for the most part. Now, the level 2 version
Here's the big one.
does 305 total damage. Again, this is not a part of a combo. So, sometimes you gotta look at it and go, is one level 2 worth 2 level 1s? That's 305, right?
Are you okay?
175, 175, that's 350, so 2 level 1 Buster Wolves would be better than 1 level 2 Buster Wolf. But every character has the same health, in which case I believe that's 10,000. 10,000? 1,000. but also because of how things are done in this game. They were so nice to put things into nice little segments of 10. So if you look at the health, you'll see it'll be green and then there will be like a light green. So you can see dark, light, dark, light. And you'll see 10 points of that. So, like, the level 1 power guys did 200 damage, which is awesome. While the level 2 power guys did 342. So, in this instance, 2 level 1s are better than 1 level 2. Sometimes it just happens like that. But, you're thinking about like this. Your range is different. The effects are a little different, so sometimes if you're pushing for gain, you'd rather use the level 2 over a level 1. But knowing that if you use 2 level 1s, you would potentially do more damage, but because you're doing, bless you, because you're doing 2 of them, they could block both of them. Or they could block 1, or they can block none of them. But also, like I was mentioning before, there's 2 ways to do these attacks. One is to just straight up use 2 meters, while in the other, if you're in max mode, even though you'll still be using 2 meters,
Here's the big one.
you no longer have to do the 2 kicks or the 2 punches. But that also means if you're in max mode,
Here's the big one.
because you're in max mode, you'd have the ability to do your EX attacks, and when it's almost over, if you go, alright, I want to blow the rest of the meter, you could. So it kind of comes down to your playstyle and how you can figure it out, if you want to do that. And then, there's one move that goes even further, called the Climax Super Special Move. Just call it level 3 or your Climax. So he has this move called Star Dunk Volcano. Do you see it? Alright.
It's this.
Half circle back, 2 kicks. So, did you see how that move did 449 damage? Which is almost half. So it's like, if this one attack that costs 3 bars can do that much damage, would I really want to use level 2s and level 1s? That depends on where you are on your skill level and where you are in your combos, because believe it or not, you can combo into that. So this is what it looks like from far distance. Whoops. Again, not the king of execution here.
It's this.
Surprised, aren't you? So, Star Dunk Volcano is like one of Terry's old attacks called Power Dunk, where he jumps up and then he knocks you down.
It's this.
Yeah. So the animation is literally him doing the same thing, except for if he hits you on the rise, then he gets something extra out of it.
It's this.
And you see how if he only hits you with the descent, it's way less damage. So check this out.
Are you okay? It's this.
That didn't work, did it? But let's say you were in the corner.
Are you okay? Rock the roll. Are you okay? Rock the roll.
Oh jeez, where is my execution today?
Are you okay? Rock the roll. Are you okay? Rock the roll. It's this. Take down. Dynamite.
So in that case, let me do it from full health so you can see the real number. Seriously, my execution's trash now that people are watching me. Don't worry, I lose to everyone anyway. Yo! Yo! Yo!
Are you okay? Cross the rope! Are you okay? Cross the rope! It's this! Take down!
So now he does 577 damage. So it's like, alright, you spent 4 bars, but that's how much damage you did. Remember how each power geyser's like 200 damage? So at that point, you just gotta figure out if it's for you, if you'd rather do that. In which case, if you really want to go the distance, you want to clinch that match, you want to spend those 5 bars.
Here's the big one! Here's the big one! Here's the big one! It's this! Take down! Excellent!
Seriously, that is impressive though. 660 damage. 2/3. You're not doing this like at the start of the round, but still, 660 is a lot of damage. Yeah. Right, so like depending on how the game goes, if you're doing single matches, in which case, if it's Terry versus Iori, then you'd eventually build up to 5, but if you're doing team matches, then Terry would have to be your 3rd person to be able to build up 5 bars. So, let me talk about the canceling system a little bit since I've showed you something. So, you have your normal attacks, right? Then you have your command normal. So, for the most part, a character can do normal attack into a directional attack, which is a command normal. So, bop bop. And the step after that would be a special. Some attacks don't have that problem. In which case, for back knuckle, you don't have that special option. So, can we go even further? I think we can. Oh, where is my execution? Alright, did you see how it said super cancel? Well, because you're doing a super move in this game, you just use the meter that you're consuming.
Here's the big one! It's this! Take down! Dynamite!
So in that case, I did a special into a super into a climax. So in this game, depending on the character, not every character has this flow like that, but Terry can do normal into a command move. That command move into a special, into a super, into a climax. Or you can skip several steps just to make sure you get where you want to go. So that's a bunch of different cancels. But what if I told you there was one more cancel? Max mode. Well, the whole thing is, if you're playing a match where your opponent's not moving, you're not playing a match, you're just fighting the dummy. But check this out. Did you see how my character ran? So, in this game, if you do max mode, after doing a normal attack, you can run up to your opponent for max mode. While you enter max mode this way, even though you cut it in half, you're able to extend your combo. In which case, if you did this instead, remember that move that you couldn't cancel before, the back knuckle? Now you can. But you can't max mode out of a special. You can't max mode out of a super, and you can't max mode out of a climax. But because of the fact that you have the ability to max mode cancel, remember how you was doing this? You could do it again. And if you're quick enough, it'll be a longer combo. So now it's 4 hits. So depending on how much time you put into it, you can actually make it work. And then those numbers I was telling you about before, which doesn't matter until you're deep into it. But just to give you a frame of reference of why sometimes blowing a bunch of meter at once might not be worth it, but it can be if you get to a certain point. And remember, when you're in max mode, you can do EX moves. In which case, there's other interactions like I'm just not getting it today. But today, I've talked a bit about canceling, I've talked about defense, I talked a bit about offense. This isn't really a combo guide, but I've also mentioned a bit about spacing. In which case, if you do decide to get into this game, training mode can help you see where you are and figure out how things work for you. And because of how Terry's nature is, it's very easy for him to get close in on a character and stay on top of him. I wouldn't necessarily say he is a rushdown character, but you can play him that way.
Member select.
I believe so. I do, and I'm bad at it. I play Tekken 7. I play Tekken 7 with Asuka Kazama, and I like her a lot. Not really. Even with all. That's not a conversation I'm ready to have recorded yet. They're gonna go, wow, This guy we don't know about knows nothing about Leroy. So let's talk about King briefly. So you see how she's a little bit slender? So because Terry's bigger, he takes up more space, and the reason why I picked her was to show you, even though she does not take up as much space as him, there's going to be characters that take up different amounts of space, but generally it's about the same. So check this out. Yes, it is. Nah, not really. So in Art of Fighting, she was disguising that she was a woman named King. You don't actually know her real name, but that's what she goes by. And in the no. But in KOF series, as time goes on, she starts to present more feminine, but she's not, she's still herself. So check it out. She has a command move called sliding. So you remember how I told you can do a normal attack into a command move? So let me show you what that looks like for her. This is sliding. So she can do any staying attack into sliding. She can't crouch into slide, but she can sweep into slide. So the thing is, because of sliding, it's powerful enough to let her get closer with a low profile. Let me actually swap out Iori so you can see what I mean.
Member select. Stage select.
Ready? I'll talk about Athena another time. What is going on with my controller? Oh man. I just want to do a Psycho Ball, man. Alright, there we go. Not in this game, but you saw that? So in some games, sliding gets a low profile, but not in this one. So she's not sliding under a Psycho Ball. Maybe under maybe under K-Dash's second shoot. Yeah. So King has a couple of moves, in which case in this game they kind of strip her down to her essentials. I can't think of a game where she doesn't have these three moves. In which case she has access to Venom Strike, quarter circle forward kick, Tornado Kick, half circle back kick, and Trap Shot, forward down forward kick. Sure you can with a kick. Trap Shot. So check it out. Why is my character jumping? Is my controller possessed by a ghost? So thing about trap shot is this. What is my controller doing? So she does a backflip and it kind of attacks in front of her and slightly above her. Like you see where the flashing is? So the reason why I'm pausing to show you this is because sometimes it's harder to see unless if you're able to get a good clear picture of it. So like if somebody was jumping in at her, she can like stop. That was a bad example. Oh, I gotta change that. There we go. So if you do it a little too late, there'll be a counter hit because she doesn't have like the upper body invincibility. But wow, I don't think I know King anymore. I just learned something new. Man, it was good coming back to this game. So, don't use trap shot as anti-air. It won't work for you. Okay, but you can use it as combo killer. And then she has this attack called Tornado Kick, where if you do the light one, it's a shorter distance, while the harder one is, you know, further. They both activate kind of quick. But she has Venom Strike, which is a projectile. In which case, in max mode, she gets her double strike back. In max mode, her tornado kick bounces them off the ground. It always will. So if she knocks them on the ground like that, she can do trap shot EX. Pretty cool, right? And then you have Surprise Rose and Silent Flash. Alright. So this is Surprise Rose. So when you do it from far, and again, the reason why I did it with both buttons is because sometimes, even though they do something pretty similar, the range and speed can vary depending on which button you press. So it's a close attack where she jumps up in the air and just kind of stomps him. While the level 2 version well, you didn't come here for reality. But also notice how she makes space if she does the level 2. Wow. Yeah, she makes space with the level 2 or the level 1. But because of all that space, guess what she gets to do? Look at that harassment. I mean, this wouldn't work on Athena, but still. And then, when she does the Silent Flash, she's not nearly as far as with Surprise Rose. And then she has Illusion Dance. Oh, look at that. You can do this in the air also. Okay. So this is what that attack looks like. Not doing it. Alright, there we go. So, there's a clear distance that she moves back, then jumps forward, and she can almost reach you from full screen. But because this is a climax move, so a thing I'm currently working on is cancel points. So check it out. Damage. Sorry. One more time. So, one thing to figure out is this. Check this out. Did you see how soon I canceled? So, this is bad. That's okay, but if you learn how to cancel properly, you cancel You see how big of a difference the first one where you canceled too early and the second one when you canceled at the end, how big of a difference that damage was? So some moves have cancel points at different points. Some moves have cancel points that are early or late for a character. In which case the ones that are later are the better ones to do. But because of the fact that she can cancel that move that way, for her other moves. sorry. I'm still here though, so if you had to type in something, I'll be able to read it in a moment. Oh. Okay, I'm back. Ooh, close. Wrong direction. Right, so R kick to sliding. We can do that. EX max. I mean max cancel. Oh, can I do that? Maybe I can. This one? This is 14. 15 might come out next year. The whole thing is, they've given us a trailer just to say we're working on it, but not much more than that. the trailer didn't show you anything other than the logo. But I want to show you a good example of wasting meter. Did you see how I canceled on the first hit? Yeah. Like, as far as Killer Instinct goes, it's fine. So, that move before she starts to ascend is the cancel point. So it's that fourth hit and that's it. While this other attack, you can complete it and cancel on the very end. So some moves are just better than others when it comes to giving you the damage option. When it comes to canceling anyway. I think King has a decent difficulty for 90% combo, I think. Let's see, so... And again, it takes a while to actually learn how to do this. Like with her EX, she can't cancel from that. Why is it jumping? But from her hard kick version, she can cancel. And from her light kick version, she can cancel, but not her EX. So, it would be something more like this. Messed up with the meter count. Alright, let's try this one more time. I missed the cancel point, but you're able to see how all those moves work. I'm just not making them link. No, not at all. I like Athena. I was trying to show how King sliding was a low profile attack, so in this game she would be able to use it to go under other characters' projectiles that were off the ground. In some games when a character can get low profile and move, that's an extreme advantage. So if somebody were to do Venom Strike and she's on the other side, she would have been able to slide under it while attacking. So if she did that, she would, you know, go under, not be defensive, and if she hit, then she can do a special after. So you say who's the what team? So unfortunately, the USA Sports team has not appeared since '98, which was a dream match. But so you have the guy who plays basketball, Lucky Glauber. You have Brian Battler, who is the football guy, and then you have Heavy D, who is the boxer. And I'll pick one more character and make him super brief. So check this out. Leona's a charge character.
Stage select.
So Love Heart, Mui Mui, and Nakaruru are not in this world. So their team name, I'm trying to remember what their team name is, but essentially what happened in the story verse was distorting space and time, so those characters were pulled all from separate times into this time. So for them, they're just trying to get back home. Yeah. I mean, if that's all you see, then yeah, I guess I could see that. So, we're talking about Leona's physique. So, Leona, her command move is called Strike Arc, which is forward light kick. Let me show you what it does. So that's an overhead attack. But if she hits beforehand, it doesn't knock him to the ground. Let me see if I can pull up the block on that. Cool. Ace of Vane? No. I'll be sure to check it out. But, I was mentioning that Leona's a charge character. So do you see how there's yellow? So you hold it briefly. In KOF, charge time is slower. Charge time is lesser than it is in Street Fighter. So in Street Fighter, even though you'd hold it for about 2 seconds, in KOF you'd hold it for about 1 second. So check this out. This is ballistic launcher. Yeah. Did you see how quickly I'm able to do this? Oh, Hydern? Yes. Yeah, he adopted Leona. Yeah, she was trained by it. Also, she has this move called Excalibur. So you see how there's two different versions where one she just shoots a projectile and there's one where she glides down with it. So depending on which punch, this is light punch, you can, you know, do it and give yourself some space, while if you do the hard punch, you come down. Also, something that I didn't mention until now, did you notice how I was doing those attacks super low to the ground? So in KOF, when characters do a backdash, some characters actually get into the air. You see it? So, because of the fact that when Leona backdashes, she gets into the air, she can do Excalibur extremely low to the ground. But also, check my command input. Do you see how it starts off like down, then down toward, and then I get up in the air and I'm pressing punch? So some characters are able to do this buffering technique where if you do the move and you would execute it, but you can't execute it till you're in the air, so you hit some form of up, you're able to do it super low to the ground. It can be, but it's more of, it's something advanced that you probably wouldn't even need to be concerned with yet. But also, some characters have attacks they can do in the air, and did you see how she was able to hit and then do a special attack afterwards? So, let's say in this instance, Ralph is blocking. If I do the light punch version, and I saw him block, doing the light punch Excalibur lets me fall away from him. While if I did the hard punch version, I'd be falling next to him, but he can hit me. He says, Salder? Oh man. I don't want to remember him right now. I'm not ready to go back to those days. It is. So, even though she has 3 charge attacks, she also has this move called Airing Bomb and Excalibur. And I never showed you Airing Bomb yet. So with the hard kick, she throws it further out, while with the low kick, it'll bounce off the ground. So, let's see what the EX versions look like. Let me turn this on also. So, with Ballistic Launcher, with the light punch, it stays in front of her. With the hard punch, it moves out a bit. But with the EX version, it moves out even quicker. 9 hits. 5 hits, knockdown. But if you are at the right space, you can get 12 hits. Alright. And look at that. You see what I mean about how the charging works? And then this is Moon Slasher. So, With her hard punch version, she moves forward a little bit. It's hard to see, so I'll move back just a little bit. Did you notice the movement? And then with the EX version, she also moves forward, but also executes faster. Well, it started faster and it finishes faster. And then, the airy bomb. Look at that, it's so slow. But, it's a very shallow arc. But did you see what it allowed her to do? And then there's this. So, when she goes Excalibur, the EX version, it stays out a bit longer. So it holds him in place, which is excellent. And then Grand Saber. Ooh. Wait a second. Oh, there's no follow-up for the EX, but the difference is this. Check this out. So with the light kick version of Grand Saber, she knocks it down. For the hard kick, like Grand Saber, she knocks him down, but she has the follow-up for forward kick. So that leaves her in the air. That's important for later. While the EX version, it knocks him down, but she ends the attack sooner. So she can hit him. So now they are forced to defend. So remember when I was saying it was important to note when she's in the air? So she has this move called V-Slasher. Quarter circle forward, half circle back punch. So she dives down. If she touches them, she carves a V into them. Kind of like a Kamen Rider. Yeah. I just wanted to give you a clear picture of the slashing. And then when she does the level 2 version, it does the same thing, just faster and harder. But there's something very different I don't think you noticed yet, so check this out. Level 1. Her hair turned red. But did you see how if it didn't touch, it doesn't stay red? I knew you'd get it. She activated her Orochi blood. I'm telling you, something about the story is going to go back to Orochi. Because Iori does something similar. Well, his hair would turn red if it wasn't already red. So the visual effect would be more like, when you're looking at him, it's a bit more like his breath is a little different and his eyes are a little different. It's a little hard to say how a person's breath looks, but if you look at how he's breathing, that's when you'd understand. And then she has this attack called Flash Saber. You know, the red hair thing. So I'm not sure if you've seen it, so let me do it for you. So, do you see that beam of energy? But because it wasn't close enough, she doesn't get the full damage or animation. But she still can hit you from full screen with that. While if she's closer, right, in which case, you see that? Crazy, ain't it? And then you remember when I was talking about it being important to know when you're in the air? Okay, so I believe she can Excalibur into V-Slash. Now, let me show you the command because it is a little complicated. So check this out. Excalibur is quarter circle back punch, right? But you have to do that in the air. V-Slasher is quarter circle forward, half circle back punch. So let's break it down. So when you do one command, the quarter circle back, start doing the next command, but don't hit the punch until near the end. Oh, what did we do? So, even in the air, she can land on the ground and do her climax move. So, even though you won't get the full damage from doing all the hits, it means she can hit you with her ultimate attack, air or ground. Doing it that way is a bit harder because of how much time you have in between each attack. Oh, yeah. Also, not everyone's rolls, like the evasions, are as quick or slow. But hers is a quick backdash, so if you try to hit her, she'll just dart out. But if she rolls forward, you're probably going to grab her. Was there anything in particular you wanted to hear about?
Member select.
So, King of Fighters is a popular game. I just feel that the way you'd measure the popularity is a little different because it is very popular in South America, not North America. But even though you're seeing all this, I encourage you to actually go out and try the game. And don't look at all the things I did and go and try to do them immediately. Work your way up to them. You don't need to be able to beat somebody so definitively like that. But if you can actually work your way up and try to enjoy the learning experience, possibly find somebody around your skill level, that's when you can really blossom, and that's when these kind of games really bloom. It's not really, well, to me anyway, about beating your opponent, but more about learning. Like, this character right here, Geese, is one of my favorite characters. Now, even though he is a boss from the Fatal Fury series, he doesn't appear in KOF nearly as much. So, check this out. He has these two projectiles, while Repuken is kind of fast. The double Repuken is bigger. But, you know what? That's a bad example. You need to see what he does.
Member select. I slay. Let's go!
Because Geese is one of those characters where he has counters, and to see his counters mean more than just hearing about them.
Hey, come out. Ready,
so,
go!
Believe it or not, this guy, why is it jumping? Why is it jumping? So, check this out. When projectiles clash, you know. Oh, but what's that? He nullified the projectile and threw his own anyway. That's strong, ain't it? But also, check this out. He has an air projectile. So, depending on where he's at, he's never really out of options. And then you got, let's say... Ooh, that is bad. He has a high counter. So if you try to jump in at him, he'll easily just swatch you. So he has a mid-level counter which changes position. And even though it changes position, it leaves him at an advantage where he can attack afterwards. And then... he has a low counter. Look at how far back he knocks him away. You know what that means, right? He can just shoot you. And then you've seen how it went past Terry. If you time it just right, he wakes up Like, he gets off the ground and he has to deal with either getting hit by it or blocking it. So, timing is important, but you'll figure that out as you go down this kind of rabbit hole. It took a while. Go for it. And then, let's see. Right. He has this move where if he knocks you down, he can attack. Alright, take care. So you're not even safe if you're on the ground. He'll pick you up. And then you're wondering, okay, if you can do all that, what can we do to him? You can still fight him, it's just that you have to approach him a little bit differently. And it's important to actually try characters to see what they can do. Like, when he did the double Repuken before, that's a quarter circle full with a hard punch. If you do the EX version, it knocks down. Which lets him just hit you for free. See? And then you got things like this. Where he has the option of knocking you down. Pick you up. Do an overhead stomp. Do a sweep. And all of them, at a certain range, just lets him do whatever he wants afterwards. But, like, if he does the sweep, since you're far away, you could just throw a Repuken at you. And with the Repuken, because of the fact that it's slow enough where he can land safely and do whatever he wants. Most characters can't get 2 projectiles on the screen at once, but because of this, he's able to. And then, let's see. And then, I was telling you before, he has counters, right? So check this out. So, when he does this stance where he raises his arms, that means he's doing a super counter. It's a little harder to do, but the thing about it is it's so quick that you really have to be anticipating that attack. If you do it too early, you just eat a hit. If you do it too late, you just eat a hit. Let me choose a slower attack that's easier. So, like, this guy has 4 counterattacks, and this is a full body, so let's see what it looks like from down here. My fault, that's a mid. Alright, here we go. That's a high attack. So, there's just a lot of things that this guy has that's a little hard to unpack. But let's talk about something called Raging Storm. So, let's see that. So, that burst of energy around him, that column, you can't jump over it. Also, the floor he's touching, if you're there laying down, he'll pick you up. Let me show you. That's just like this. That's just like this. So the thing is, you're not safe anywhere around Geese. But he is beatable. He is strong, but it takes a while to actually get used to using him. So, he's a pretty interesting character. Actually, he tripped you. He does that. That's guaranteed damage. And even though it's a little bit less, it is still a lot. And what can you really do to a person like that? It just takes a lot of time and practice to understand what's going on with this character, but also to sort of understand the mechanics of the game. I didn't even touch all of the mechanics in the game, but hopefully one day I will actually go back to try to make a more simplified video, just breaking things down just a little bit. But in earnest, if you were ever to play a fighting game, just play around with it a bit, try to figure out what's going on, try to find a character that looks cool to you, and learn how to use them. Like, I'll briefly go over one character that got me into KOF. So, some time ago, I was watching a video by K Rose back when CMVs were super big. In which case, he did one for K-Dash where he had combos from King of Fighters 99, 2000, 2001, and 2002. So check this out. So he has this move called Iron Trigger. So he kind of swirls around some flame, and in which case after that he has a couple of follow-ups. They've expanded a lot in this game. So with second whip, we just smack the flame down. Let's see what that is. Oh, by the way, Iron Trigger with Light Punch knocks down. Iron Trigger with Hard Punch doesn't. It's very important to know the difference. So, like, if you do forward Light Punch after, you knock them down. You can whittle their guard super easy with it. Wow. I believe the next one is, oh, my fault. That was second whip. This is second knuckle. So he dashes forward with a punch. And then he has the projectile, which is second shoot, and then he has second shell, which knocks them up. So let me show you the difference. So because you do it with Light Punch, if you're close enough, they'll be knocked into the air. So the next attack will just knock them on the ground. While if you do the Hard Punch, things just change. And then check this out. Did you notice how he couldn't lift them up twice that? But check this out. So the thing is, you can mix and match the moves depending on where you're at on the screen. Almost every combo works in the corner. And then he has Blackout, which is a teleport, Curl Bites, which is an uppercut, Minute Spike, and Air Minute Spike, which are expansion attacks where he moves from one side to the next while doing an attack, and Narrow Spike is a follow-up to Minute Spike. So let's see what those look like. Blackout, Minute Spike. You can do it in the air also. Narrow Spike. So the thing about Narrow Spike is you don't need to hit with Minute Spike to execute it. Did you see how he warped down and slid? But you can. You still hit and do it. So, by using Blackout, depending on where you are, you can use it to just keep up with your opponent. Blackout is sort of like your dodge, but it's command put. Like something simple like Hard Punch for Light Punch. Forward light punch is an inch. So if you just hit them with it, it'll crumple them and they'll fall on the ground. But if you do it after another attack, it won't. But because if you did blackout after that, your opponent's going to turn and you'll be right next to them if you did the light kick version, which would let you grab them as soon as you get out of it. And then crow bites. He has a follow-up if you do the hard punch version with forward hard kicks. So you knock them down. If you time it just right, when they get up, they'll be running into an inch. In which case, after an inch, you can attack. They can't do anything to you. But also, he has Neosol. Let's see what that looks like. So, it's slow to start up, but if you do it after a normal attack, it's pretty quick. Let's check out the EX moves. So, the thing about this is, EX Iron Trigger changes how the rest of his follow-ups work. Let's check it out. So you're able to do something like that now. When you do the EX version of Crow Bites, he does 2 uppercuts. And then he knocks him down. It's like Heaven's Drive. And then it's a move he had in 2003, I believe. And then you got EX Blackout. It's super quick. Has some invincibility there. With EX Minute Spike. Because they'll get Narrow Spike in there. But, you know. Seriously, what's going on with my controller today? Also, oh wow, that's all of his moves. So let's check out Heat Drive and Chain Drive. So with Heat Drive, you can charge them well. Let's see if it does the same damage if you don't charge it. So if you don't charge the move, it comes out fast, but it does less damage. But if you do charge it, you get more damage. That's not to say that you shouldn't charge it, but sometimes just knowing that you can wait until you want to let go, that's very valuable. So let's see what happens on guard. So you want to, when you don't charge it, it does 28 damage, but when you do charge it, it does 46. And the whole thing is, even though that's not that awesome, sometimes by charging a move, your opponent may move, and if you let go, you'll get a counter hit. See? And then, you have Chain Drive. So he throws his shades and then he catches him and do a combo. So let's see the level 2 versions of these attacks. Look at that! And then chain drive level 2. Come on, you gotta admit it, that's pretty cool. And then he has a new move called Heat Drive, I believe. Oh, my fault, Hyper Chain Drive. So, he burns them alive. It doesn't look nearly as impressive as if they're far away, but unlike a certain character I was talking about earlier, you see how he knocked them on the ground and still didn't ignite them? But check this out. So, this move has a lot of cancel points, so it takes some practice actually getting the most damage out of that particular cancel. But also this one. So the thing about this one is this: when you start when you start Heat Drive, you'd have to start queuing up the move for Hyper Chain Drive because it's very hard to do it as soon as you hit them. But also, as soon as you hit them, depending on where K-Dash is, the command will reverse. Because he's swapping from here to here. So that's why when you do it, you want to start doing in the move, start doing it in the next command. Did you see that time how I did it in reverse? It's a very fast move and you have to kind of figure out when you want to do the move. And because he did the move and he knocked him in the air and he was still sliding, you had to cue it in reverse. While this one right here, I know you can actually get in all the attacks, but it's just a But then, don't worry about it. You might not even need to be able to do that. But the whole thing is, I've seen this guy, I've seen him doing all these combos, and he's pretty cool. That's why I got into KOF, K-Dash. So, depending on where you're at, some things also change, but he also has this one combo that seems to be in every game where it's like hard punch, forward light kick, into quarter circle back kick. Just, I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Member select.
Alright. I'll talk about some other stuff some other time, but that's it for this particular video. It was just to help some friends understand a bit more about mechanics in fighting games and some of my thoughts about them. I might do another one, I might not. But because of the fact that this game does not have share play, I had to stream it, so that's what happened. Thanks for viewing. Take care, guys. Nope, damn it.